All right, we're live here once again at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil, and I'm joined by James Balsamo of Acid Bath Productions. It's always good to have you back on the show.
Always a pleasure, Neil. Nasty Neil.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Nasty Neil.
Yeah,
Mr. Nasty, if you're acquainted.
yeah, it's been talked about. Some people don't think I'm nasty, which is probably a good thing. They want me to change it. Sweet Neil, which is nice, but I think does not. I don't think it's fitting of the show at all.
Sure. It's
Like,
too close.
welcome to the station of decapitation. I'm Sweet Neil. It just doesn't work.
Right.
Necro Neil was suggested. That was not too
Oh,
bad.
Necro Neil.
Yeah. But James is a man who puts the red rocket into indie filmmaking to steal some lyrics from the amazing theme song, Hollywood Werewolf.
Yeah, the Antibodies did an amazing job on that theme song. Very fun song.
Yeah, and the Antibodies will be the music of the month next month here in Without Your Head. So their music will be playing all month. You might actually hear that song during the shows,
I hope you do.
and we'll have them on at some point during the month.
Sweet.
So for people not aware, can you explain Hollywood Werewolf?
Sure, Hollywood Werewolf stars Andy Dick. Let me just say that. And Andy Dick
That's all you need to
becomes a
know.
werewolf. Yeah, I know. It's a real howl. So the story is about Elliot Wolf, who's a child actor. And as child actors sometimes fall through the cracks in life and they become stars early and then become train wrecks. And so art imitates life and life imitates art. And Andy Dick, who plays Elliot Wolf, former child star, looking for a new gimmick, becomes a werewolf and starts taking Hollywood by storm. And it's got an amazing cast, and Joe Castro did the effects, and it's wild. It's a wild ride. Eric Roberts is in it. Bill Wheaton, who you might know
I'm a
from
big
Sergeant
fan. Yeah.
Man, and this man's helped produced feature film, once Future Smash, and a whole bunch of other fun cast of wacky characters. So it's out now. Walmart, Best Buy, Barnes and Noble, or JamesBalsamo.com. Check it out.
Yeah. So this, I know you've actually had this one like in the works for a long time. I remember seeing the poster for a long time and the name, and so, did you always have Andy Dick involved? And once you did, is that what really like got the feature, finished? Then.
Yeah, so originally I was going to play the werewolf. I was going to be Elliot Wolf, but in a way I did play Elliot Wolf in the end. So, yeah, Andy Dick wasn't originally going to be in it, but a producer friend of mine, Rob Mulligan, who helped me get Tommy Chong in one of my movies, told me, "Hey, I know Andy Dick, and I think I could get him in something for you if you're interested." And I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." The very next day, Andy Dick just so happened to be walking outside of my apartment building when I was living in Koreatown. It was a really strange thing because Rob hadn't talked to him about the movie yet, and Andy Dick just so happened to be literally outside of my apartment. It was crazy and serendipitous. And after that happened, I knew I had to get him to be this werewolf.
And so he was down for it right away because there's a lot of things about his character being a washed-up actor and stuff. So he's all good with all this content.
Oh yeah, what's great about Andy is he's brilliant and he really understands comedy and he's got a great sense of humor for the joke. And I think not only comedy, but being an actor, you just have to like put ego and anything aside for the bit or the character, and it's all about the moment. It's very Buddhist filmmaking, and so if you have to degrade yourself or kind of be the butt of the joke, the point is not to hurt yourself, but to make everyone else enjoy the performance. And that's what's great about Andy is that he really makes that eagle soar,
Yeah,
or
and even
that wolf cry in this film.
exactly. Yeah, I honestly, his whenever he's played a character, it's never been about like he's like the badass or something. So
Yeah, that's what we should do. Get him for Wild Hogs too.
yeah. Although there are fight scenes in Hollywood Werewolf.
That's true. There are Guy Grundy, who is a wonderful actor, plays Frank Stein and gets plastic surgery to look like Frankenstein's monster, and then
That's dedication to Acid Bath Productions.
it's true, and then the werewolf fights Frankenstein's monster, just as it was in the classic.
Yes, yeah. That's actually is it 8 millimeter? What is the is old no one really cares. But when I was a little kid, we had the I think it's 8 millimeter. It's like an 8 minute movie on the little reels. My
Super 8.
grandfather my grandfather used to play it, and I used to watch Frankenstein versus
Awesome.
Wolfman many times.
Very cool.
I had no audio. It was just like a 6 minute version of the movie, but
Nice.
yeah, I have fond memories. Though.
Oh
But
yeah, where they're hugging at the end. That's my favorite. They're just kind of, and the Wolfman like jumps off of a crate, and he doesn't want to like really hurt Frankenstein, so he's just like gingerly like lands on him. It's amazing. I love that
right,
place.
yeah,
Oh, the greatest fight of all time, and they're all, oh, we're dancing.
yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's kind of like for any of my wrestling fans out there when the Yeti when he was doing the big bear hug on Hulk Hogan in the '90s on WCW.
Mhm.
And if people don't know, go watch it on YouTube. It's a
Yeah,
good
there you
time.
go.
Yeah. So you mentioned the theme song, the Antibodies. Had you known them previously? They've done a lot of cool theme songs for a lot of indie movies.
Yeah, they've done a lot of cool theme songs for me. They did the one for 14 Ghosts, and they're working on a new one now for my new movie, Robot Dracula, where Malcolm McDowell plays Robot
Oh,
Dracula.
sweet.
It's got a whole bunch of cool people in that. John Landis, Russell Simmons, and a whole bunch more.
So how did you come in contact with the Antibodies?
I don't remember, honestly. I feel like they might have reached out to me and said, "Hey, if you'd like to, use some of our music or something, or we could write you something." And I said, "Yeah, that'd be amazing." I think I'm pretty sure that's how that went. And so that's how we became friends. And now they've done, like I said, they've done a few songs for me, and they're always catchy and they're always fun. So I love working with those guys.
Yeah. So it's a really fun opening sequence. You got the animation, you got the song. You also have the there's werewolves, like the werewolf like claws on the people. And are those like things you filmed at a convention? Like,
Yeah. So sometimes at shows, I'll do a thing where people can win a raffle or they could pay to be in the movie. And those people in Hollywood Werewolf, I think it's a mix. Some people won and some people paid, and they're all in the movie. And now it's out in Walmart, Best Buy. If you want to be in a movie, send me a message at jamesbalsamo.com. I do a thing now where I produce other people's movies. You put in half the budget, I put in half the budget, and then we make a feature film. And then it goes to Walmart, Best Buy, Barnes and Noble. And I've done that a few times now. So if you want to make your own movie, send me a message.
all right, sweet. I'm gonna hit James up after the show here. I'll be back in LA in August. So
All right, sweet.
yeah. But
So
no, also why I wanted to bring that up is it's really cool because so if you go and see James at a convention, he's usually at Mad Monster and some other cool ones. It's a chance to get yourself in a movie, like you said, that's gonna pop up all over the place.
that's it. It's everywhere. Redbox, Crackle, and over 200 streaming channels. So be on the lookout. You can make your own movie.
Yeah, and normally you don't have annoying people around that are making some other movie and keep standing in your way. So normally
And
you're
if I
good to
do,
go.
I just kick them in the shin.
I know my leg still hurts. It's never recovered. So let's see. Mark is my hero. So I had to go to anyway. That's from Mark Scheffler.
Oh, Mark Scheffler's amazing.
Yeah.
I love
So,
Mark. He's in my other movie, Slice, and that's out now. And that has the guitar player of the Doors, Robbie Krieger, who gets killed with a door. And you can see Mark's demise also in Slice out now at jamesbalsamo.com or get it at Walmart or Best Buy. That's a movie I made with John Hitt, and we just started finishing up the sequel. And last week we filmed with Tommy McLaughlin from Friday the 13th, Part 6, who wrote and directed the movie. So,
oh, nice.
yeah.
Antibodies. Woo. And
Yeah.
you can also listen to your previous interview where we talked about Slice.
Yes. That's
I
right.
believe you were working on a sequel at some point too.
That's what I was saying. I'm shooting
Yeah.
Slice 2 now. It's got Danny Filth from Cradle of Filth in it, and Tommy McLaughlin from Friday the 13th Part 6.
I should have been paying attention. I was trying to figure out who these people are because it comes up Facebook user, but they have real names too.
Neil, wrong
Field
side.
and Neil, we like this one.
Pet. Doesn't go through the high five. Oh,
Hell yeah!
no, you're the other side.
Oh, on my see, I
There
have
you
mine where
go. Oh, yeah. Take that, internet. That's good.
I could edit in sound effects. We'd be good to
Yeah,
go. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning me. That was also from a Facebook user. We
yeah,
just
you're welcome.
that's actually Jojo Diaz.
Oh, cool.
I love Eric Roberts.
Who doesn't, right?
Yes. So he's kind of like one of your players now. You had him in the one movie, and now he pops up all the time. It's very cool.
Yeah, I think I've done several features with Eric Roberts. He's in my new movie I made with Craig Muckler from Microwave Massacre fame, Mark and Clark World Adventures. And that's got Craig Muckler, Bob Cummings, Joe Estevez. I'm sorry, Joe Estevez, as he pronounces
Oh,
it.
I see.
And
I'll have to remember that because I think he was going to come on at some point. I have to
oh, yeah, I hope he
reschedule it.
does. I love Joe. Joe's great. Um, and the Amazing Kreskin's in that movie.
Oh,
So,
sweet! Another many former guests. Not to
yeah,
plug myself. That sounds weird, but
sure.
yeah. No, but that's really cool. Amazing Kresk. When I had him on, I found out he is like a big horror movie fan, so that's very cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's done two movies for me now. He's in Catch of the Day 2, and then this Mark and Clark World Adventures. So
So now that you do like really cool, you've always done cool like shirts and hats and stuff, and now you got like the not Mad Balls, Balsamo balls and
yeah, they're
Balsamo buddies.
Mad Balsamos. Yeah, you
There
get
we go. There we go.
balsamo.com.
I'm a huge fan of these. Not just because you're here, but that's pretty rocking.
And then we've got the Balslamos.
I love these. Yes.
So yeah, jamesbalsamo.com. We've got a whole bunch. There's the Unholy Diver
That's really cool.
waves, and then let's see here. We got the American Executioner from my
Now we're going old school. Yep.
yeah, we got a whole bunch. So go to jamesbalsamo.com. Check them out.
Yeah. So my question,
You out, brother. Oh yeah.
I have a this is one's not as cool as the Balsamo buddy, but for
Oh yeah.
stinger.
That one stings a little bit, just a little bit.
But no, those are wild. And so my question was, well, a couple things. First of all, you should do some product placement. Have those in your movies once in a while.
Oh yeah.
And,
Mark and Clark, there's a commercial for
oh, nice.
Balsamo.
And also now when you start thinking of ideas, do you like is that part of like your thought process? I got to make something that I can also make a cool ball out of or a cool buddy out of.
No, not usually, but sometimes. You know what I mean? I do have this guy for a movie coming up. His name is Basket Paul, and Waleed Ash made this guy.
Oh my god, that rules.
Tom Devlin's buddy there, and so it's a monster and a basketball, and so of course that'll be a Mad Balsamo. And this guy, we're working on this guy now. We're still in pre-production for this guy, but be on the lookout. Basket Paul. My name's Paul.
I am a huge fan. These are the kind of things when I was a kid or when you were a kid, you probably thought, hey, I would put this in a movie someday, and now you can.
Yeah, exactly. It's true.
Go on, sorry.
Hello, how are you?
Yes, a very riveting question from Dean Mia. He wants to know, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you? That's what I really want to know.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I'll make this into question. Steve Kenchman looking to get my comic films up and going and looking for investors. So I'm not telling him to contact you, but would you have advice for someone like that who is looking for investors?
Yeah. If you're looking for investors, the best bet is not to commit a crime, but to not commit a crime. That is the best way to make money. And definitely don't sell drugs.
Damn.
Don't.
Straight
Sorry, I
and
got my
narrow.
eye there.
Hmm.
But yeah, fundraising is hard. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a weird thing. And then movies are so expensive. You know what I mean? Like I make movies for like tens of dozens of dollars, and it's still expensive. You know what I mean? Like my Christmas movie I made with Bill Victor Rukin and Greg Talley, Raven Van Slender Saves Christmas, was about $350,000, and it opened at the Chinese theater 4 days before Avatar, which cost like $1 billion. So don't let money get in your way. You know what I mean? Like in the grand scheme of things, like you don't need $1 billion. You know what I mean? Like $350,000 to like a regular person is like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. I could put that on a house or something. But in film, it's nothing. You know what I mean? I was telling somebody about a movie that I'm working on that I'm not allowed to talk about that's going to cost $4 million. And I was having drinks with Woody Harrelson's brother, and he was like, I mean, you got an impressive cast for $4 million, which is like nothing in the sense of what
Yeah.
Hollywood is. You know what I mean? So, like, just put that in your brain. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need millions and millions of dollars. Like, if anyone can show you that it can be done, it's me. Because look, here I am being interviewed by Nasty Neil, telling you
It's the
that you
pinnacle
don't
of success. Yeah.
millions of dollars because my last movie that I made with two other investors played in the same theater as Avatar 2. Like, think about that. Just take a moment and be like, oh my God, that movie cost $1 billion. And you had your movie play there 4 days before. That's crazy. That's crazy, Neil. That's
It is.
crazy. You don't need money. Just make the movie. Make the movie.
Wow. I'm gonna go make a movie now.
I'm
And I think,
telling
yeah.
you, I get it all the time. People say, "Hey, James, why can't
Wow,
you
that's a really impressive mad ball you made there.
know?"
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Mad Alf. You might recognize my dog Alf from some of my movies. It drives me crazy when people say, "How do you get money? I need money." You don't need money. Pick up a camera, make your superhero movie. It's not going to be The Flash, okay? Disney just made a $2 million flop, okay? Did you hear about that? Elements, big flop, $2
Hmm.
million. dollars. Save yourself the $2 million, make a movie, because if it's your first movie, it's gonna be your first movie. Just do it.
Yeah, and you talk about some of those ones they still make like 500 million, and like that was a big flop because it needed to make $2 billion to break
The film
even. It's like
industry
good
and
lord.
money is insane, and so many indie filmmakers come up to me because I'm doing it on pennies on the dollar in the grand scheme, and they're like, "How do you do it?" You know what I mean? It's like I just do it. I just pull every favor that I can. I get celebrities to do it for nothing or really cheap because I'm passionate about what I'm making, because I want to make movies. That's all I want to do, Neil. You know what I mean? So I want to work with people that want to have that same kind of passion and not be worried about, oh, what are we eating for craft service today? Martin Scorsese got everybody steaks. Well, guess what? I'm not Scorsese, and you ain't eating a fucking steak on my dollar, okay? That's not what this is about. This is about getting a vision out of a story or some kind of entertainment, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's entertainment. Okay? Stop trying to think you need to throw money at it. Throw creativity. And then somebody with money will be like, wow, this guy's got great original ideas. I have a buttload of money, and the last thing I poured $2 million into sank to the bottom of the ocean. And now what am I going to do? Oh, I know. I'll try something different. I'll give the creative guy some money because he showed me he could do it with no money. So do it with no money. Or take what little money you have and split it with me, and then I'll put it on a platform where it hits Walmart, Best Buy, and every retail store there is in the free world and get it out there.
And I mean that right there is something that a lot of other people aren't going to have. You know that connection. And some it sounds like just common sense, but being nice and friendly and stuff actually goes a long way because that's how you build those connections, and people remember that and then want to work with you, or they'll be willing, like, yeah, I'm gonna do a favor for this guy because he's a good dude.
Yeah, be genuine. Be yourself. Don't be a poser. Don't be a kiss ass. Like, do what you want to do, and like love yourself first of all. You know what I mean? And don't chase the dollar, because people spend their whole life chasing it and they never make it, and they're dead in the ground. And for what? And they could have lived their dream, or they could have, you know, ran with the butterflies, or done whatever they wanted to do. Neil, that's what I'm telling. I'm telling them, run with the butterflies.
I like that. Lorene Landon, who I love, Lorene Landon, who is also in the Once a Future Smash. Great interview. Love what you said about budgets and how it's a script and actors that people went to see.
I love Lorene Landon. She's in my film You're Melting, and you're wonderful. And so thank you for that.
Yeah, and we're glad you're doing well, Lorene. I know a year or two ago you weren't so well, but everything's looking up.
She's wonderful. Stay wonderful.
Hey guys, Marsha Miller. Hello.
Marsha.
There you go. Another really nice guy, I think, is Joe Castro, and his effects. Talk about passion. It's hard to beat Joe Castro's passion when you start talking about monsters or
Sure.
any kind of effects. Like, you can just see it in him how excited he is, and then it comes through in any movie.
Joe's amazing, and he's making the Robot Dracula in my new movie, Robot Dracula. So Joe's a producer on that film, and he's done some amazing effects. Robert Mukes is in the movie. Joe Castro made him look like an amazing vampire, and it's going to be a fun one.
That's a very big vampire.
Yeah, yeah. Robert Mukes is amazing,
Yeah.
and amazingly tall, and he's so sweet. He like bends down to talk to me. I mean, I'm not that short of a gentleman, but compared to Robert Mukes, everybody is tiny. Everybody's tiny.
Yeah. I am short, and then next to him, yes, it's even more so.
So funny too. I really like hanging out with Robert Mukes. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's very good, and he has a Without Your Head work shirt, so he's all very cool. Lorene Landon, thank you so much. Thank you. My health is great. Very good to hear.
Amazing.
So, when's Robot Dracula? I know you're working on it now. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but when do you think that will be available?
I'm planning on releasing it on Halloween. So Halloween falls on a Tuesday, which is when movies come out through my distributor. So hopefully, if all falls in with the tumblers, it will come out on Halloween.
So, since you already have distribution for your films like lined up and stuff, so you don't do like festival runs.
I don't. My business partner, Bill Victor Rukin, submits some of the films that we've done together to festivals, and we have been crushing it. I think Alien Danger's won up to about 30 different awards. You know what I mean? So, and we've won for Best Actor. I've won for Best Director several times, and Best Editor, and we've won for Best Poster, and we're we're ecstatic that we're winning. Like I said, I have distribution, so I would say, why buy the cow when you get the sex for free?
Yeah, I was wondering what the benefits then are if you are, because although things are different, it used to really be you went to the festivals to get distribution. Now I think there's some other reasons people do festivals. So for yourself, what are the benefits?
For me, nothing.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Bill is very happy to put them in the festivals and win all the awards, and it's great. You know what I mean? And it's cool that people are aware of the movie because it's in a festival. It's like, oh, I heard this one the best. You know what I mean? But it's funny because I get emails from other festivals that are like, hey, you won. Do you want to give us money to like be in our festival, and then we'll give you an award?
Yeah, it's a weird, weird world that I
don't care for that.
Yeah,
personally, I never did because I've had distribution, luckily since I started making movies. So I like to just make the movie and get it out there, and then the people that find it and tell the people it's out there, and that's great. But Festivals are fun. I've been to a handful of them, and it's great to see movies that you wouldn't see anywhere else, and
I
these
agree.
labors of love and passion that people pour their heart and soul into, like, has an audience. Like, that's amazing. You know what I mean? And since I have distribution, I have been considering putting out other people's movies and going to film festivals and starting to check out stuff. But at the same time, I'm making them, so I can only split myself so many ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of travel involved. They definitely have their huge benefits, and then there's also a lot of negatives. For either way, though, anyone who's thinking about them, definitely do your research and ask other people about the festivals, because there are some that will just take your money and not necessarily you have a shot of playing, or maybe it doesn't even actually play in front of people. There's
Oh yeah,
some out there that don't do that, which is it's very strange. But
yeah,
there are a lot of great festivals out
yeah. It happens.
there. Yeah. So when you get to play the movies in LA on the screen, what's that like for you to go there and watch your movie on the screen with your friends and just people maybe you don't know?
I like the party part of it. I like to hang out and mingle. I don't enjoy watching my own work in front of people. It makes me squirm in my own chair. Like, as a performer and an artist, if it's live and I'm doing like the introduction, that feels great. But like having a canned performance and there's nothing you could do to alter it if there's like an audience that like isn't your audience and is kind of like cringing through the movie, because I make a lot of adult situation kind of films. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So if it's playing at like the children's festival and then they're playing Sexy Time 5, then it might not be the right audience. You know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah,
they should.
like mommy, why is she pouring cream corn on her
Right,
belly there?
exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of splashing in Hollywood Werewolf.
Yeah.
So a lot of cream corn. Alana Dro, adult film star, does well with that can of cream corn in Hollywood Werewolf. Check it out for yourself at jamesbalsamo.com or Walmart or Best Buy. Now go see Alana and corn, the creamy kind.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cream corn, so it's
Yeah,
good.
who is it?
Yeah, you got hot, you
That's
got
the kernel of truth, Neil. That's what that is.
Oh man, that was a great one. No, no, just kidding. But no, that
It
was
was
good.
corny. Come on.
There we go. I am always impressed that you could. I mean, I'm not saying one, but if you get one out, okay. But you're very quick with them, no matter what you say. That is always very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure it's really annoying if I was around you all the time. No, no, no. Just kidding. It's good. So there's also a lot of talks of avocado, the life and death of avocados in the.
It's true. So that's an homage to my first film, Hack Job, where I play a filmmaker and I kill pretentious filmmakers. And in the opening film, it's called The Life and Death of an Avocado. So
Uh-huh.
in Hollywood Werewolf, we come very full circle, where I play a pretentious director, and my next project is The Life and Death of an Avocado. And so Troy Froman from Saved by the Bell fame and Darkman fame and Return of the Living Dead Part 2 fame paints himself green and does this amazing fake audition in the film. And you can check that out also. But I'm sure you're more interested in the cream corn.
Well, I mean, we all have our own deals.
Oh,
I'm a
I
cream
know. I'm
corn
surprised
man.
you mentioned the beans. That seems to be the
Oh,
popular.
really? Well, I'm a unique guy. I'm glad that you did. You got a little bit of something in there for everybody. Some people are chocolate syrup guys. Some people are
Yeah,
Franken beans. And then I was like, finally, cream corn.
yeah, yeah.
He's speaking my language
Gotta,
now.
you got to cover the spread.
Right. You can play at my upcoming cream corn convention.
Oh, good.
Rick Chandler, I'm going to eat cream corn from Neil's ass now that he's a nun. Don't judge me.
All
Interesting.
right.
That'll be in the next film.
Yeah, none of that.
Yeah, that will sell, maybe a copy. I don't know.
Yeah, from that guy. That guy bought.
From Rick Chandler will buy it. The speaking of you didn't say critics, you said filmmakers, but at the end when you're yelling at the critics, is how much of that is just kind of your own thoughts?
In what sense?
And
Repeat
like,
that.
is that like kind of your real opinions on critics? or not all critics, but some of the online critics.
Um, you know, I think I used to take the critics a little more personally than I should have. Like on my first film, critics were attacking me. So when I made my first feature at 25 and it was pirated all over the world next to movies like Taken starring Liam Neeson, they were comparing a $50,000 budget movie to a multi-million dollar Hollywood film opposed to a kid that made a movie in his parents' garage. You know what I mean? And so they were like, James Balsamo should never pick up a camera again. And like, this movie's terrible. But that pushed me in a direction to make a better film, which was I Spill Your Guts. And I made a serious slasher film, and I really did everything on that project. I was the director of photography, I did the effects for it. I really wanted it to be something good. You know what I mean? I had just made a movie because at 25 I was like, I could do this. You know, after working for Trauma and sitting through hours and hours of like, you know, wonderful cinema that is trash in the best way. I was like, I could do this. I know I could do this. And so I did it. And then people were like, fuck this guy. How dare he do this? And so of course, I took it personally. And so I set out to make a good movie. And then once people were like, oh, it's okay. Then I was like, oh, good. I don't have to like work so hard. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Because, you know, I wanted to prove that I could make a good movie. And Hack Job was just, I could make a movie. And so now I've put out over 100 film releases, and sometimes I make a good movie, and sometimes I make a movie. You know what I mean? But either way, I'm making a movie. And so, you know, it's nice after doing it for as long as I've been doing it that people are like, hey, you make movies. Because that's all I ever wanted to do was be known as the guy that makes movies. And that's
So,
happened.
how important was working for Troma to you becoming, an actual filmmaker?
It was instrumental. You know what I mean? Working for Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hers, you know, which is amazing that Lloyd Kaufman just tweeted the trailer for my movie 14 Ghosts like 3 weeks ago. You know, he retweeted it, which is insane. That after, you know what I mean, over I don't know. I was 19 when I started working for Troma, and I'm 37 now. So you do the math. That's a long time ago. You know what I mean? To still have a relationship with him, like he was instrumental in shaping who I was as an artist. And I'll tell you a funny story. I saw you had Debbie Rochon in your opening credits. I've known Debbie since I'm 19. She did a cameo in my first movie, which became Hack Job, but it was originally called The Mark, and she was wearing nothing but a silver robe and was willing to do nudity. And I was like, no, Debbie, this is like a real movie. This isn't like a Skinamax movie. You keep your clothes on. And then Lloyd like bashed me over the head and he's like, what's wrong with you? If you ever want to sell a movie, put nudity in it. And that's that changed my life,
Yeah.
because now I put nudity in almost everything that I do, and I get a celebrity. And that formula came from Lloyd himself. He like shook me and was like, you know what I mean? I remember the guy that was running the camera for me, and he was like, "You don't want her to get naked? Like, what are you, an idiot?" You know what I mean? And David Rashawn's stunning, and I was like, "No, no, this is a movie. Like, you know what I mean? I'm an artist. I'm not making a pornography here." And now I put nudity in everything because that's how I make my living. You
You
know,
don't want to pour cream corn over like a three-piece suit or something. That's
right?
not the same
Exactly.
effect.
You want skin. You want flesh for the beast. So
And so um, I always like to ask people about trauma because it's very interesting. I really get one or two answers. One like yourself. I've had people said really it was their film school. They worked for Troma, learned how to make movies. They didn't make money, and I had some people who vehemently hate Troma. And it really, for me, it comes down to what people think they're going to get out of it. I do think if people go in thinking I'm going to become, this rich guy, you're probably not going to be happy. But if you go in with the idea like this is experience to go on and do my own thing, you're going to have a better experience
go,
with it.
go back to the thing I was saying about running with the butterflies. Don't chase that dollar, especially working for Troma. Like
Right.
you know, what I mean?
Yeah. And they're
I
pretty
was
upfront with that. So
oh yeah, they used to say on their website like "be a slave" as like a joke. You know what I mean? But like, I was living in Long Island, commuting to Manhattan on my own dollar to like take out Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Herz's trash and like sweep outside of a Manhattan street building. And I loved it. I loved every minute of it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they paid you in like free shaker discs, like a DVD. If it's loose in the case, they call it a shaker. And so they would be like, "Oh, we can't sell these because they're loose in the thing. But since you slaved for us, you could have these." And I was grateful. You know what I mean? Like I said, if it wasn't for Lloyd and Michael Hers, you know what I mean? I definitely wouldn't be making the kinds of movies. I'd be making nudeless art films called The Life and Death of an Avocado.
Right. And unfortunately, I believe this just yesterday, the Troma's been kicked off YouTube altogether. They're
Yeah, I saw it. It's terrible. You know what I mean? And it's a shame. It's a shame that they constantly don't get the respect that they deserve for a company that's been around for so long and works tirelessly and shows the mainstream media that there is a fan base and a cult and fans. You know what I mean? Like, so many people have Toxie tattoos and Sergeant Kabuki Man tattoos and Nukem High tattoos, and like they just dedicate their life to trauma and like this company that makes these weird, obscure films and buys other films from foreign film markets and weird fun cinema. You know what I mean? And they really have the stranglehold on that in a sense of the mainstream, and they still don't get the respect for it, which is crazy.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff's before its time because you can watch it for all the weirdness and all this stuff and have fun with it. But Toxic Avenger, talk about bullies and stuff. Really, way before that was like in a lot of mainstream things. A lot of stuff about the food we eat in a lot of those movies, and so there's more to the trauma films than just the stuff you see, the nudity, the weird gore, or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's something I would say I definitely learned from trauma is inserting a message about society in a cloak and dagger kind of way with silly monsters and over the top gore and nudity. But there is a message at the core, like you said, and there's some great values and societal views that should be heard and seen. And just because they kind of are covered in slime and mutant goo, a lot of people look past them. But at their core, they're really great stories and messages in there.
Yeah, and this is bad for everybody out there, even if you're not affiliated with Trauma, because even here without your head, just recently I have a warning now on the account because of nudity in a trailer. They said it was pornography, and it was a horror movie trailer, and even stupid stuff like I was trying to sell Psycho Ape T-shirts for the next movie, Psycho Ape 2, that I'm producing, and they were saying that was it was guilty of being insensitive to mentally ill people, and I mean a lot of this stuff's getting pretty crazy.
Yeah, the pendulum swings, but I think if you keep hard on those tracks of keep pushing forward, then you'll get through these hard times of you know suppressing culture and oversensitive times. If the pendulum swings one way, it's got to swing back the other way. That's just how the yin and yang work of it. So
Congrats! This is from Jamie Hill from Skinamarink.
thank you. Adieu.
Very cool. Which was
Skinnamarink.
is Skinamarink on its own. Skinamarink, I think, is inspirational for independent filmmakers too. Went on to play theatrically and do very well for a very low budget movie. And actually low budget, like you said, not like a $5 million
Oh, I
budget.
know. That always blows my mind when they say independent film and then they go, "Oh yeah, here's a independent film. It's got John C. Riley in it, and you know what I mean. It cost
Yeah.
$5 million." You're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I was at a festival and I was interviewing a guy, and I was like, "Wow, and it was a stop motion movie. It looked really good for because I assumed it was low for the budget." And he's like, well, it cost 50 million. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
I guess it didn't look that good then. I don't know. So,
yeah, right. For 50 million, it looked awful. You should be
yeah, and it
ashamed.
made like it never played anywhere besides a festival. I mean,
Right.
it's cool if you play a festival if it costs a few thousand, but that's
Yeah,
all
no,
you're
people
playing.
paying about money in film. They're weird. They have a weird relationship, and sometimes that 50 million doesn't go on the screen. You know what I mean? It goes into somebody's pocket.
So stuff like when I'm watching Hollywood Werewolf, there's some stuff in there like you leave in kind of I don't say flubs, but like you tell the guy like we're still filming. How much of that did you think of editing out and you just leave in? What's like the thought process there? Because also for people who don't know, the movie's sort of like a documentary while you're watching it.
Everything that was on screen is purposeful. So, Andy Dick's thing uh, in person is that he does a bit while we're filming where you think he's stopping to take a break, and then he's like, "No, I'm still acting," and that is part of his bit still. There's a really funny Mr. Show sketch. I don't know if you're familiar with.
It's my favorite, my
Okay, so,
favorite sketch comedy of all time.
okay, so then you'll be familiar with the audition. Bob Odenkirk comes in to do an audition, and he starts doing a monologue in front of the people that he's doing the audition for, and he messes up. And then they're like, "Oh, it's okay." And he goes, "No, it's part of the monologue." And it just goes on, deeper and deeper. And then he goes, can I use that chair? And they don't know whether to talk or not. And they're all, yeah. And he's like, "No, that's part of the monologue." And then it gets to a point where he's conversing back and forth with them. And they're like, "Really? This is part of the monologue?" And he's like, "Yes." And then he shows them, and it's all in the monologue at the end. That is Hollywood Werewolf, Neil. It's all purposeful. It is all very self-aware. Everything that is on screen was meant to be in that movie.
It's funny you. I didn't know you're a Mr. Show fan. It's funny because when I was watching, as soon as you pop on doing the Elliot Wolf, like the dialogue and playing the character, it really reminded me of Bob Odenkirk and some of the Mr. Shows, especially like from the Ronnie Dobbs stuff.
I love Bob Odenkirk and David Cross. I think they're brilliant. I've liked them, since I was a little kid. I'd stay up and watch, HBO late at night.
Yeah.
Be like, "Oh my god, the show!" And like Titanica. You know what I mean? There's
Oh yeah,
so,
it's some of the best skits ever, I think.
so
And
ridiculous.
for people who don't know, it's my
Thing.
first time I saw Tenacious D because it would be like a little like very short show after Mr. Show.
Oh yeah,
Great stuff. And I'm always happy. Not that I know any of them, but anytime I see them do well, I'm always like very just happy because like, oh, it's almost like a friend of mine doing well because I saw those guys, Mr. And I know Bob like didn't really do well for many years. He got depressed after Mr. Show went off, and then like to get Breaking Bad and the show after that is like that's pretty wild.
Well, yeah, first of all, Bob Odenkirk is a brilliant writer. He wrote the Chris Farley "In a Van Down by the River."
Right.
Bob Odenkirk wrote that. That thing that Chris Farley is the most famous for, Bob Odenkirk wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, Bob Odenkirk's one of those guys that was like a behind the scenes kind of writer, and then he was like, "Oh, I want to act," and he's brilliant. He's he's amazing. So I'm glad he's crushing it. And then did you see Nobody? That movie is insane.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Incredible.
Yeah, and who would have ever thought like that would be Bob Odenkirk someday? Like, someone's followed him for years. Like, he's gonna be an action star. Like, when he's like 50 or something. Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I remember seeing a thing with Tim and Eric saying like they had just sent like some of their little skits they did to Bob Odenkirk, and he liked it and like got him on TV. And I was like, I mean, I like that kind of stuff. Like he's just a good guy too.
Oh yeah, he produced Tom Goes to the Mayor and
it was really great. That's another one. No one ever mentions it, but I think it's great.
Oh yeah, I love that stuff.
And yeah, that's good stuff. So how about yourself? Do you you obviously doing the features? Have you ever thought of doing shorts? But then at the same time, I don't know if there's really a platform for those.
So yeah, actually, I started doing a collection of shorts in a film series called Mind Melters, and I just finished Mind Melters 14.
Oh,
So
sweet.
all my short subject films and music videos and celebrity promos, I uh, I put them out in a thing called Mind Melters, and you could check those out at Walmart, Best Buy, Barnes and Noble. Like I said, Mind Melters 14 is coming out next
So
month.
the answer is yes, Nasty Neil, and you should have been aware of these because there's 14 volumes of them.
Yeah, I've been doing those for a while, and they're really fun to make. And what's crazy is that they're some of my best sellers. You know, those sexy time movies I do. I just did Sexy Time 6, which is a compilation of the breast scenes some from some of my films, and then Mind Melters, and those are the ones that people want. So check it out; they're fun.
I have not seen any Mind Melters. I would like to check these out actually.
Yeah, I'll send you one. They're wacky
Very
for
cool.
sure.
Will we ever see the death of avocados? The life and death of avocados?
You can see a clip of it in my first movie, Hack Job, which had its 10-year anniversary 3 years ago. So the 10-year anniversary is out now. Walmart, Best Buy, Barnes and Noble. Hack Job. It's got the late Dave Brocky, aka Odor Strungus from Guar, and Lloyd Kaufman's in that, and Debbie Rochon with her clothes on is also in that movie, as well as Lynn Lowry.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. What's what's been the most surprising cameo you've ever had?
Uh, John Landis, probably, to think that he's in two of my films, and the fact that the last time I saw him, he told me a story where he vetted me. He said, you know, somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, John, James Balsamo said you're in this movie. Are you really in this movie?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm in James Balsamo's movie." John Landis told me that story about him vetting me to somebody else. That's crazy. You know what I mean? That's crazy to me. I mean, I love John Landis's work so much. You know what I mean? Like, I am such a fan. And for him not only to know who I am, but he also sends me postcards. These are
Oh
postcards
man, that's
from
really cool.
Landis, multiple postcards. You know, he let me know that he got the film Alien Danger 2, which he's in, and then that he liked it, and he liked his part in the movie. So, John Landis.
That's pretty wild. I would not have, like you said, it's cool that he even did it. But then it's even cooler that he's proud of it, and he tells other people and personally sends you postcards.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And I didn't throw millions of dollars
right.
at John Landis. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, you can do it too. Like, don't let money stand in your way. Don't ever let money stand in your way for anything. If you have a dream, you could do it. Run with the butterflies.
Where did that thing come from? Run with the butterflies. Did you just make it up?
Just made it up, Neil. That's my new slogan for this show. Run with the
I like it.
butterflies.
I like it. And speaking of John Landis, I kind of like this. Now you got kind of a American Werewolf in London homage with the snout coming out on Andy Dick.
Yeah, Joe Castro did that.
Yeah, it's great.
And Andy Dick loved that. When he saw that, he was like so excited. He was like all about that. He was like, "Oh my god, it's like American Werewolf in London. That is
Oh,
amazing."
interesting. So I don't really know much about him, so I didn't know if he was into horror movies at all or weird movies.
I think most people enjoy horror. There's some people that are very adamant that they don't watch it or they're scared of it, and then I think there's people that dabble, and then I think there's people that love it and that are lifers and surround themselves with horror memorabilia, such like that. And that's us. As
Yeah.
I see, you've got little figures here. So I've got
Oh, very nice.
my little Nick Castle, who's in my movie Slice. We just did a convention together where we were signing autographs across from each other. So that was
Oh,
cool.
sweet.
I got to see Nick Castle in Sacramento last weekend. So yeah, you
Yes.
never know.
Yeah, I was once seated at Mad Monster next to him as well,
Oh,
which is
nice.
very cool.
Yeah, I'm
It's
sorry.
it's nice, but then it's also hey, I'm just sitting there while all these other people. There's a big line for the cool people.
Oh yeah.
And,
Well,
and
just
you
keep
try,
it
you
cool.
make small talk while they're just standing in line to see them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, you want to see what I do now?
Well, think about how long. Hey, what's up, James?
Hey, I was James. I'm sorry, I did not mean to hit that, but it was alright. At least it wasn't something horrible.
Yeah, it's you covered in cream corn.
What? That would be amazing. I don't know why that would be so horrible. So, are you gonna be at? Are you gonna be in Arizona at Mad Monster?
I will, yeah. So come hang out with me at Mad Monster Party in Arizona. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, it's gonna be very hot.
We'll be inside. It's not like it's a volcano.
Right. Yeah. That. Yeah. It'll be an outdoor convention.
Yeah, exactly.
In a sauna. So, when you're at the convention, like I said, you go. Not only you can meet James, which you're very fun to meet in person, but you also have a chance to be in your movie, so that's very cool, and you can buy cool shirts.
Thanks. Yeah, or send me a message. You want to be in a movie? I'll figure out a way to get you in one. I'm making a bunch of them. So
Yeah, and I saw a lot of my friends pop up in Hollywood Werewolf. Some of them, in video, and some of them were pictures, so that was cool too.
yeah, yeah. There's a whole bunch of horror fanatics in Hollywood Werewolf. So it's cool to
I
get 'em.
also saw my buddy David Maggot McDonough did. He was a cameraman, I think.
Yeah, yeah. He filmed that cream corn scene that you love
Oh, he
so.
did. It all, yeah, it's like 6 degrees of cream corn.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, Maggot's a really good guy. He lived out here, moved to LA, and now he's back here, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Oh, he moved back?
yeah, I believe he moved back to Boston.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, and for people who never saw his feature, it's like 45 minutes, I think. Is Groundhog, very fun movie,
And I am
which
in
you
that.
are in. Yeah,
Full circle. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We did it.
yeah. So you've already mentioned, but people want to go and see Hollywood Werewolf. Where can they find it?
Go to jamesbalsamo.com or follow me on Twitter at Acid Bath Product. Find me on Instagram at James Balsamo or at Acid Bath Productions. And add me on Facebook. I want to be your friend, James Balsamo. Get Hollywood Werewolf at Walmart, Best Buy, Barnes & Noble, FYE. All other stores that sell movies should have Hollywood Werewolf, starring Andy Dick. And also me. I'm also in that movie, so go check it out.
Yeah, you can see the double Elliot Wolves. How many times did you say Elliot Wolf in the movie?
I believe 674. Alf, my dog.
I'll just say take like a shot, but don't take a shot. Yeah, you'll be out.
Yeah, exactly. Alf, my dog, also plays a character named Elliot Wolf. So there's a running joke that Andy Dick is Elliot Wolf, I'm Elliot Wolf, and Alf is also Elliot Wolf.
Will
right?
the real Elliot Wolf please stand up?
Yeah, exactly.
Very cute. What's on your shirt, by the way? It looks like crab claws, but I'm not sure what.
Oh no, it's a
oh, it's dinosaurs. All right.
Dinosaurs Attack T-shirt.
Oh, sweet. Lunch break. What's that? Is that from something?
It was a card series. The people that made Mars Attacks made a card series called Dinosaurs Attack, where dinosaurs horribly mutilated everybody, women, children, men, equipment of the construction kind, all sorts of stuff.
It's fun for the whole family then.
Yeah, they're really fun. Fright Rags did a shirt a few years ago, and then I loved this collection as a kid. And so there's a website called Sticker Mule, which I have no affiliation to, but you could print anything you want. So Sticker Mule.
Yeah, I've had stickers from there. Very cool. All right, well, it's always fun to have you on, and we will do it again soon.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. We will be live tomorrow night. And go and follow James wherever you are on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, on Grindr, all the websites. That's where we met. And... All right, good night, everybody.
Bye.